Well, sorry about that. We seem to have lost connection somewhere. I'm not sure where. Oh, well, never mind. It can't be helped, you know. Such is life, as they say, you know. So, what's happening? Hey, what's happening? Anyone like to say? Is there something going on in the world other than the garbage? You know. Let's think. Oh yeah, the police have apologised allegedly, although I don't think they have. If I'm totally honest with you, for the arrests of people who went to London to see the King. There's a total of 64 of them, and apparently 6 of them were detained incorrectly, shall we say, and no further charges. However, according to um, our wonderful police force, everything was fine. They didn't do anything wrong whatsoever. I wonder whether I've heard that before. And if you're wondering what's going on with the image, it's the only way I can get a camera to work is by putting it full of light. You know, well, I think that's what it is. Anyone got any ideas, any suggestions as to what the ring of light is? And also let me know whether you think it's real or not. Okay. Now watch carefully. And if you look dead center into the past the light into the black hole, right, give you a clue as you look at it. Okay. You might see little things in it that of a colour. Okay, and that might give you an indication as to whether you're looking at a live video stream or whether you're looking at just an ordinary fake one. Because some people have said allegedly, I never put my camera on, which isn't true. My camera is on most of the time. It's just that I don't have it pointed at me. Do I look stupid? Work that one out. Anyway, folks, I haven't actually got anything really to chat about. There's a number of other lives that have been going on, and the trouble is when you take a couple of weeks off, you got to try and get your audience back, I suppose. But it was funny the other night. I had, I think it was Wednesday night. I had a rough day at work, one of those days, and I decided all I wanted to do was to chill and listen to anything. And I hit upon an idea of listening to my own channel. So I played copyright music for sort of like 4 or 5 hours. But that's not the funny thing. Nearly 200 people went in since Wednesday to watch it. And the top number of hours that people have been listening to it was 3 hours. So I think I did pretty well there. It was something completely different. Snowy, how you doing? You didn't miss anything. It was just an experiment. Oh, well, I suppose if I put the link out, you might come up. I wasn't going to. Well, never mind. You fancy coming up, Snowy? If you are, I'll drop the link. If not, then I won't. We've got a number of people watching. The question is what you're viewing real, as in live, Okay. Or is it one of those AI pictures that people have been using quite a lot of? And I must admit, I have as well. So if you think it's a live image, okay, then put a 1 if you so wish, or you could put live or anything. Hello, Kay Stevenson. Want to be another auditor lacking support? Okay. That's, you're saying that's all AI. Okay. Interesting. Rebel City, how are you doing? So remember, folks, look very closely to the center. Okay. Imagine what you like is in the center, but don't take your eyes off the center, or eye off the center if you've only got one. And if you've got 3 eyes, use the center one, that'll help. Right. Just keep looking at the center into the black hole and tell me whether you think that is an AI picture or a live picture. This could be interesting. We have a number of UK people around, and we have a number of US and Canadian people all close to around. So let's see if anybody else. Do you want to have a guess? Kay Stevenson is the only one. Wait, I'm not falling for that. Hypertoad. KP Nuts says it's live. So far we got 1 each. 1 for a live performance and 1 for a AI picture. Anybody else thinking about it? So I'm not asking you to be hypnotized. Just look right dead center in the black hole. That will then tell you whether it's a live picture or an AI. Because only when you look at the dead center will you know the truth. Now we've got a polo mint. Rebel, get on the panel and summon the fire ants. Nice one, 4 pigs. So actually, Mr. Stevenson has changed his mind, and he's now gone for a polo mint. Live. A polo mint with little blue markings. That's what I can see. I've not put the link out yet, actually, for piggies, because no one's asked for it. No, I just thought this is the quiz, folks. It's you either get it right or you get it wrong. I'm so glad that you all turned up in time for it. I did say it's going to be a long quiz, so no one can sit around to me and say I advertised incorrectly, because I don't believe I did. And it only says that I may have a quiz. Yeah. And this is the quiz. I've lost the panel. Mind you, I didn't have one to start off with, thinking about it. And I didn't really advertise tonight's show. I'm easing back into things on a Friday night. So it might only be very short, very, very, very short. Talking of short people, hello, Bear. Fancy coming up? I've got a big ladder. But before you do, the question of the evening is this a live picture or an AI picture you're looking at? So far, we've had an AI. However, they changed their mind and said that they've been very descriptive. And Kay Stevenson says that it's Polo Mint live. So Snowy doesn't want any what's the word? Doesn't want to be hypnotized. KP says it's live. Peter Pope, sure you will be everybody welcome here. Yeah. I've never said anything against Peter Pope. He's always welcome. GY, great to see you. Thanks for coming back in. Is that just so you catching up really? The question for the quiz, you have a 50-50 chance of getting it right. Is the image that you are seeing on your phones, on your tablet, TV, computer, laptop, whatever it is, right? Is this live or is it an AI? It looks like a pupil. Okay, yeah. That's a creator light. But is it live or is it an AI? Live or Moonrex? Live. Oh, so far we've got everybody saying live. Well, okay. Is it? You tell me, folks. So keep watching, as they say, because I know there's a delay, so I'm talking after this. Some people might get a shock. Some people might not. You are all an AI. So, I'm going to put the link out. There might be somebody who wants to come up and say hello. So, there you go. Enjoy. And let's see who first wants to come and risk their souls on the mid with the hole. Artificial ideolic or ideolic. Depends on how you pronounce it. So far, we've had a mad rush. I'm not letting you up. Sorry, you're banned. No, there's nobody come up yet. No one's clicking on the link. That means that I'll have a very, very short evening, which might mean that I'm not as boring this week as I was last week, or when I was, Wednesday night I was there. I was live. Well, there was a live transmission. That's all I'll say on that one. You can go and listen to it like everybody else. That's done. You might stay longer than the 3 hours that somebody did, which I thought was funny. But if you're not going and had a nosy, you won't understand what the joke is. But it was a bit of an experiment. I'm not sure what the point of the experiment was, but there was a point to it. Oops, just realized I can't put this on because the light is... there we go. I thought I abducted again. That light, please do not probe. This is not a science fiction episode of the Grim Reaper Network. I'm sorry. We prefer to have our own conspiracies. Thank you very much, The Fallen. Oh, strange this is. I'm talking to you on one screen and watching your reactions, etc., on the other one. It's good. It's working. Raise, how you doing? Long time no see, long time no speak, etc. Nice of you to turn up. It's been a while. But they say life has to go on. Oh, that was a Queen song, sorry. I'll get that stuck in my head now. Because I want to break free as well. So, The Fallen, look dead center into the light and tell me what you see. And also, there's something else. Is it changing shape as you look at it? Because I could have sworn when I first put this on, it was square. Yeah, Riz, I've not been down under for a long time. Going back to work, of course, is causing havoc for my social life. Because I know you're 12 hours in front at all times, so I'll keep missing you. Never mind. I will catch up with you, possibly over the weekend if any of our Australian friends are around. Fallen, I know you see dead people. I know. I've already given you that gift. Local, how you doing? Nice, chilling, relaxing. Let's do sort of evening. I'm hoping, because I don't want to do anything. Is that a head in the middle? Yes, it could be. It could be. I don't know which head though, but yeah. So, right, okay. It's the one and only Bear Britain.
A good job, one and only. Could you imagine more than one of me? Fucking hell.
Yeah, drive me nuts.
How are you, mate? You all right? How are you, buddy? You all right?
That's a long time no see. I think it was only earlier on today we were chatting, but working out the next phase. Working out the next phase of our dastardly plan to upset people because they're breathing.
I don't upset people.
No, you're not breathing, so that's fine.
I think I am. Last time I checked.
Watch this, folks. You'll try and check again.
I am checking actually.
Checking to see.
I'm checking.
So is the ring real, or is
The
it an
ring
AI?
real.
Yeah, it's a ring real, or is it an AI?
No, it's
You'd be
real.
able to
It's real.
what?
That's
Real?
real. That's the real
It's real,
deal.
okay.
The real McCoy.
Hey, you got it right. It's not a polo. It's not a tube ball with the outer ring. And it's definitely not from outer space. It's a psyops looking at me. Make it stop. Okay.
So what's been popping then? What the fuck?
What?
That's
G1 trucker sees nothing.
I don't know, what is that, man? It's probably just a light or something, like a desk light.
That's
Or
it.
tell you what that yeah.
Gets worse. You know what? You get told off for this. Apparently. Good job it's for over 18s only.
So it is. It's just like a desk light then, or what?
Yeah. Yeah. You actually win this quiz outright.
Fantastic. And
because you got the bonus point. Now we're going to have people making some sort of comment because they're just catching up with the light being given the finger. I'm looking for something. I forgot what I'm looking for.
big up local. So what's tonight's topic?
I haven't got one. I brought what I had. The only thing that I had planned. Didn't have anything else. I said there may be a quiz, and it's the only question I could come up with.
What's everyone in the chat saying?
Well, I reckon it's for Fallen saying it's for decorating donuts in the dark.
Oh, that. Oh, you could be onto something there. You could be onto something.
Yeah, but what?
A light for decorating donuts in the dark.
Okay, so let's talk about this a second. Right, you're suggesting that there should be a special light for decorating donuts in the dark.
Well, possibly. I mean, you just don't know what the future holds. I mean, it's not the worst thing I've heard in the world. I mean, it's quite a good idea.
Well, I can't really argue with it. I did
What
try.
happens when the blackouts come, man, and we've all got to be in the dark? Someone still needs to decorate the donuts, even if we are rationing them. So I would say if we put little solar power panels on the back of those lights, put them outside during the day, they charge. During the night, you can sit there and decorate your donuts in the dark, something to do while you sat there in a blackout. I mean, personally, I think the Fallen's onto something.
Yeah. Actually, you charge it up, you've got light, and you use it for decorating donuts with.
Yeah.
Is that what this world is coming to? If it had a solar panel on it, it could be used for so much more things.
What then? What
like
a
street
light?
lighting?
Well, no, because you're meant to be in a blackout, so you don't want your street lights on. You don't want these.
It's a blackout because the
on
government
in
turned the power
blackout.
off.
That's not a good idea. The idea is
Okay.
you're meant to be making it look like no one's home, making it hard for them to find where they want to bomb. Not go and light the place up like Blackpool fucking Illuminations.
Allegedly. I do have a serious discussion. Funny enough. It wasn't this, it just came in.
I best step down then if it's serious.
Oh, dead serious. Have you got any trains going past you, or did you today? Was your local train station?
I did hear something about train strikes.
Right, okay. Well, somewhere in the south coast, there was a remark made by one of the vendors in one of the stations, and they said every time there's a train strike, we have to close. It's not fair. They shouldn't allow the train strikes. Now, I can see his point, but I can also see the point of, well, maybe if you put pressure onto whoever owns the businesses through to British Rail or whichever it is that's paying these drivers and rail crew, etc. Right? Maybe, just maybe, you might remain open longer. But is it right for them to strike so it affects everybody else? What's your view on it? That sounds, folks. Is the brain.
Well, striking is a form of protesting, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And protesting's like a right that we have in this country, yeah?
Yes.
So therefore, it doesn't really matter what my opinion is. It's a right that somebody has in this country. Therefore, even if it's not the opinion of my own, I do respect their right to protest or strike, I guess.
Okay.
But
there's a question for you to go around and ask places. You got a big train station allegedly. Go and ask the vendors in there whether the strikes have affected them in any way, and do they support them?
What I will say is, what I find funny about a lot of things, yeah? So the last time there were train strikes, me and UK Transparency went to Birmingham New Street, right? Big
Yeah.
central train station in the country. And all these people are striking and stuff. And then as soon as they're approached with a camera and given a platform to actually speak about what it is that they're actually trying to achieve, no one wants to talk. No one wants to talk. That just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Why would you not?
There'll probably be legal reasons why they do that.
Oh, the union says we're not allowed. The union says we're not allowed to speak. Listen, you're only protesting, striking, whatever you want to call it, because of the union.
That's because
these union.
Yeah, I know. Hang on, hear me out. It's because they've had a vote, right? And the majority wanted to strike.
Yeah,
it's like when you vote for I was going to say a prime minister, but we haven't had a vote for a prime minister for a long time. Yeah, we've had 3.
Right. The problem that I think that you have is, like, if one person's over here striking for a particular pay rise, right, then all that's going to do is then filter down, and more professions are going to be like, do you know what? We think we're worth more than that. And before you know it, everyone's striking and I don't know. Again, it comes down to a little bit of it. I mean, even if it is a bit of an inconvenience to the government, they like that it causes an inconvenience to everyone else. So, I mean, I don't know, Grim man.
Well,
But all
well,
these
before the
strikes. Don't take a
okay,
fucking job if you don't like the pay. How about that? How about that one? If you don't like the pay, why go into that job in the first place? Rather than take the job and then moan and bitch about it afterwards.
you mean you're not allowed to go and ask for a wage increase, or you have to accept the wage increase which is given to you?
Yeah, but what I mean is, if you look at what I mean, have you seen how much inflation's gone up since in the
Yeah.
UK since COVID?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just COVID alone.
But the reason why they're asking more and better conditions is because it's costing them more to live. You know, I can see we've got a Tory in the house, or the equivalent. Fallen says, it's a form of extortion. And he later goes on to say that it's exploiting the workers and the companies for their benefits and exploitation. Well, I can tell you it's not quite how it works in the UK. But there, I'll have to agree to disagree with you, because there was a strike, a vote, and the majority wanted to strike, so that's what's happened. It's about better pay and working conditions. It's
Better
not
working conditions. Oh, come on, please. Better
Let me
working
finish.
conditions.
Let me finish. Right. And that could be better terms and conditions of service.
People are
Right?
so
Charges.
entitled these days. It's unreal, isn't it? People
Well,
just like.
thing is, the cost of living's gone through the roof, and the only way to pay for these things is to get more money. And why should somebody have to work more than 48 hours in the week to make money, or have 2 or 3 jobs to make money?
Yeah.
You only need one job. Yeah, you should get paid a decent wage in line with inflation and the cost of living. So if that means you got to withdraw your labour, you've got to withdraw your labour. At the end of the day, and I don't see any harm in it at all. I mean, very few people these days, certainly certain types of people, prefer to work from home or do work from home. So it doesn't really make that much difference. But my argument, it's not really an argument. If I wanted greater pay, right? So because say for argument's sake, I was on my own, I'm working.
But working from home's not good. I mean, it might be for the individual, but I mean, for society in the long run, working from home is not a good idea. Man.
No, well, majority of jobs can't be worked from home anyway. But if you've got a loaf of bread that is tripled in price, right, and your milk has doubled in price, forget about buying butter, because butter is at the best price of around about £4 or £5 a block now. So you go for the cheaper substitutes, the margarines, etc., and even they're overly priced and expensive. So yes, you've got to get this money from somewhere, and the people who work don't all get the same bonuses that the government hand out to people who are claiming, because they're getting paid even less, if you think about it, right? So they need that money, but they can't withdraw the labour. And years ago, when unions had power, they brought down governments through general strikes. And there was a change in government and a change in the way that we did things. And that's when the people had the power. Now what the people got? 40, 50 years on from when unions had great power, everyone's been brought up to hate the unions. Whereas the unions, in reality, and it's certainly in the UK, have got better money for people, better working conditions, and if you get wrongfully sacked, they've got proper compensation for them. So tell me where the unions are wrong.
I think that would vary. I think that would vary on the profession.
Well, the unions really only work, I suppose, for the lower to middle classes, so to speak, the ones that do the work. The higher up you do, the less work you need to do.
Yeah, of course.
On a daily basis, but 9 times out of 10, you worked hard to get there. We're not. No, I'm not. Kate Stevenson. I'm referring to the fact that the government give out money to the lowest sector, where people are claiming, through no fault of their own, 9 times out of 10, right? And they don't get a look in, other than they get an extra payment sent out once every 3 to 4 months. You know. Anarchy, I'm surprised that you've fallen for that old saying. Unions seem to promote divide and rule. Well, it didn't do that when it kicked the Tories out. And also when it kicked the Labour Party out as well, which I thought was funny.
So,
but actually, go on.
I was just about to ask, how many people in here now are wanting to see Labour in next? So I see a big push for that recently, a massive push.
Will be. There will be. That's the plan. Been the plan.
Everyone's very deluded, though, to think that that's the fucking answer to all our prayers.
Well, there isn't an answer. Not while we got a government. All you're asking, look, doesn't matter whether you're blue, white, red, white, whatever, right? Okay. The government always getting whoever you vote for. You're just picking the flavour. Do you want a little bit of blue sauce, royal blue, to go with the royal?
I don't agree with purple there, man. I still think fucking for all fucking the Tories have shown themselves, man. I don't think you would have seen much different if Labour had sat during these unprecedented times either. I think you'd have seen exactly the same kind of behaviour. You'd have still found out about the secret parties. You'd have still had the sex scandals to fucking deter you away from something else that was going on. Like, it's all they're all just up on a stage. They're all just paid actors, man. Paid actors.
How does the king feel about it? Don't know, don't care. He has nothing to say, nothing to do. He lost his power years ago. Yeah.
King likes.
Kate Stevenson's got it right. Choose the presenters. Spot on. Caucasian, I'm back. I had YouTube take down a video, figure out which one. I'm surprised it stayed up for 9 months. I know also a YouTube creator who's having issues with YouTube, but I'm not going into that. Local says that we are actors in this world. In that case, I deserve an Oscar every year. That watch. At the same time, can you bank on the politicians to vote themselves a huge pay rise? It's the cost of living. Of course they're going to do it. The other thing, did you know, Bear, that on the 1st of July, the Americans are getting a new federal law coming in? Oh, he's muted up his talk. Yeah, 1st of July, there's a new law coming in over in the States, which is going to be going to make digital currency legal, which doesn't mean to say that crypto's legal or will be recognized as the alternative to cash, because it's going to be something called digital currency, and digital currency can be programmed, and they can create inflation from a negative point of view to a positive, and they can turn around to you and say, inflation's that high, if you don't spend what you've got, then next month it won't be worth anything because we're changing the digital currency name from this to this. And there's not a lot you can do about it, you know. Well, that's the latest. And the funny thing is, 3 days later, of course, is celebrate independence. Yet they've allowed the government to bring in digital currency unopposed. It was almost like it was rubber stamped. We all need to comfort ourselves and with fancy crap. We don't need. We're all playing along with their plans, of course. Yep. I agree totally. We are nothing but puppets, and our puppet masters are pulling our strings, and someone's pulling our puppet master's strings because they're just puppets to somebody else. Screw digital currency. I would agree totally with you, but I don't think we can do anything. Yeah. I own nothing and be happy. Nah, I'll go fishing. You know what? If I ever end up going fishing, I think I'll put myself into the funeral parlour first. I can't think of anything more energetic than fishing. That's a polite way of putting it. But if that's what you want to do, you go and do some fishing. So, what other screw-ups has our government done recently? Oh yeah, they introduced this national disaster alert that failed because they didn't reach all the phones that they were supposed to have met. And because they advertised it, and not to be alarmed because it's not an alarm, it's just a test, people turned the phones off because they didn't want to do it, or they went into their settings and changed the alerts, so anything urgent didn't come through. You know, turn mine off now. Oh right. Oh, you don't have a phone now that you use, Mr. Stevenson. You see, I have to have mine on because I do all my online shopping through my phone. Have it delivered. I no longer go to the shops. Oh, it turned your alerts off. Right, got you now. In the settings. Yep, that's what I ended up doing. Trouble is, though, it turned on all the alerts for YouTube. I get loads of them on that phone. I can't have it switched on. It just pings constantly. It's annoying. If it's not that, it's Discord. If it's not Discord, occasionally it's Telegram. I mean, I think now a mobile phone is more essential than anything else. As long as you've got access to the internet, of course. There are a lot of us who only do things online, so you need to have access 24/7. It's hard with talking to yourself for so long. You don't answer them, or you don't answer text messages. You don't answer anything, Caucasian. I've not seen you go live for ages. Imagine if you was in the jungle, using a solar-powered battery pack, yes, using your mobile phone to pay for your stuff. What more could you ask? I'd have to order the solar-powered battery pack first, and then see if Amazon deliver it to the jungle. I mean, they should do have a name like Amazon. So yeah, local, I like that. Somewhere in the chat, I did put a link. If anybody wants it again, let me know, and I'll save you scrolling, or should I just put it there? Sorry, I'll just put it in. I think that's the one. There you go. Bear's gone to sleep and muted, so we don't hear him snoring. He's been busy today. He walked two steps. What does choose the presenters mean? We were talking about governments. If you remember, I'm working with Scully's House of Thrillers as a voice actor. Well done.
Yeah, I'm back.
Congratulations, Snowy. Someone let me know when Bear comes back, because he's been muted for so long.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Amazon are using drones. They'll fly it straight to your phone's location. Spot on. I like that, local. Oh, sorry, Bear. Didn't realise you'd come back.
Yeah.
You've been waiting long, have you?
Right.
What do you mean? I resent that. It might be true, but I still resent it.
You can resent it all you like. It doesn't change facts.
Well, it's fine. I'm just saying. I resent that. What have I done to you? Oh, Golden Bennett. You haven't gone and bought some Prime. Saturday, we're doing The Wizard of Oz. Ooh. What, the panel is? Or just you? Imagine every company using drones. You have done already. All right. You don't need to keep showing off. I don't get anything for advertising.
What? I'm not even doing it. My camera's off.
Your camera is not off. It is now.
What are you on about? It must be lagging then. It's been off ages.
Oh, no,
Look.
I've been looking at the wrong screen.
On.
Bear, you know the difference. Well done. Congratulations. What process is in London tomorrow? And is there going to be a section 14 put in?
There's only a section 14 put in if you fucking let them.
It's a live production of voice actors doing a modified script. Okay, Snowy. Are you bringing it up to date, or is it
Local? Are you covering that local or what?
I asked what the protest was. He's not got back to me yet.
Oh.
Do you know I can never pronounce his name? Badoy. Bad boy.
Bad boy. Bad boy.
Bad boy with an I. It's been one of those long days again there. I keep looking at the wrong fucking screen, not screen.
That's not one of those long days. That's just that old age, mate. It's all right. Happens to the best of us, apparently.
With friends like you, I don't need enemies. Thing is, he's chuckling, which means... sorry, I just read that.
Yeah, bad
Evening.
boy. Is that what he said? Did you call her a boy?
Well, consider...
Goes to
I've
show I
never
wasn't even
spoken
paying
to
attention.
Bad boy.
Bad boy. But Bad boy's the one that does the wares and that, yeah? Does the garbs. Does the yeah,
I think it's funny either way, because unless yeah, but you see, the thing is, if people don't tell you what the pronouns are, how the hell are you supposed to know? Yeah. Bear is now gone off quietly while he stops laughing. Good job nobody gets offended on here. That's all I can say. Apart from Bear, and I don't mind Bear getting offended. Well, Caucasian, I hope you leave it the production up so that people can go and listen to it. Well, all I can say.
All I can
say to that is, I hope they sell.
That's it. Bad boy streetwear.
Snowy, how you doing, mate?
Chilling like a villain.
I knew Bad boy.
Professor Marvel, Wizard of Oz. Okay.
Professor Marvel. Yeah, I'm trying to fix it.
So you're going to be Professor Marvel, are you?
Professor Marvel, the doorman, the cabbie, the wizard, the leader of the what are they called? Winkies, the leader of the Winkies.
Okay.
And,
so
there's a couple of other things in there, but they're tiny roles, Munchkin 3 and stuff like that, you know.
Grim, can you make Sasquatch full screen?
No, but all right.
Well, I feel like double high, man. Without in the background, I feel like, look at that. Yeah, I feel like I'm in space now.
There you go.
That's awesome.
You gotta love it. Woo, like give me buff. Yeah, give me some stuff that I can handle. And please hold my calls. I'm out for the night. Mosquito bites and lightning bugs got neon balls. What you talking about? Getting high? Yeah, we can do that.
No, there's something really therapeutic about watching that, man. I don't know what it is. It's nice. Cheers,
You
Graham.
know, what really drives me bonkers about this. I set this up in about 10 minutes. I have other backgrounds I have spent hours on, right? And nobody's ever noticed the ones I took time to make. But this one, people love.
Brim's looking for the right layout.
Hey, you know, StreamYards lets you. I don't know what level of StreamYard you use, but StreamYard lets you put like set up your thing how you want. Like you can move people into the screen with you and stuff. I've been playing with it a little bit.
Okay.
Yes, it sort of does. Yeah. I'm not sure if I got everything, but it does.
So how does that work exactly? How does that work?
Well, you set up a new quote unquote a new layout, and every feature you've already added to your layout, you can now move it around in places. You can put it on top, on bottom, on right, on left, inside, whatever. What I've done is I've taken my Sasquatch Shills layout and I've moved my guest squares into my actual camera feed, right? So that it's all one big screen instead of a black box with multiple screens inside of it. And from there, I moved my this thing. I moved it over on top of them so that I look like I'm in with the guests.
Yeah, I get you.
Where in fact you're nowhere near them.
Nowhere near them, bud. We are not sharing the same rarefied air at all.
Nope. You're about 6-7 hours behind us at least, aren't you?
5. East Coast.
5. I never work it out. You've got that many different time zones.
Well, it's called an immensely large country. Most people in the UK that I talk to really don't grasp how big Texas is. They don't get it.
Texas is big enough to be their own country.
There are counties in Texas that are almost as big as the UK. As the British Isles.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
There are counties in Texas it takes 4 or 5 hours to drive across.
Yeah. But that's all because of the amount of land they nicked off the natives.
Oh yeah, no, screw
way
those
back
guys.
in time.
If you can't keep it, it don't belong to you. That's why we have the right to bear arms.
Yeah, because it's not yours.
Why do you want to take an arrow to a gun party?
As soon as they take your firearms, your stuff no longer belongs to you and it belongs to governments. This is part of the problem we're having currently with other countries in the world are going, we don't see the problem with taking everything from our populace. They don't do anything about it. Try that shit in America. There's going to be a whole bunch of injured cops. Whole bunch of them. Try it in Texas.
Well,
I dare you. Alaska. Give that a shot in Alaska.
Bit cold though.
Yeah. First of all, you have to find somebody willing to go to that.
You know what it is, right? Seems like it's a pointless conversation to have, but
yeah,
I always hear Americans like defend their right to bear arms, but bro, there's way too many mass shootings in your country.
Are you an American? Are you an American? Well, if you're not,
no,
yes,
education, have that conversation, bro. The only people who are committing mass shootings are criminals. Criminals are not law-abiding citizens. I'm not saying criminals should have guns. I say that law-abiding citizens should. And if more law-abiding citizens had guns, you'd have a damn sight fewer mass shootings, wouldn't you?
Makes perfect
So
sense
agree
to
with the
me.
gun, disagree with the gun. I
No,
don't-
sorry, I had to go see something there. Sasquatch, what did you say, mate? What was your reply? Sorry, I weren't being rude. Am I American? Did you say?
If you're not an American, you're not really well educated on the whole gun situation in reality. You've read stuff. You may have
Yeah,
seen
no,
stuff.
I get that. I do get that to a degree. Yeah.
Until you've stood there and completely sprayed a VW Beetle with every bullet you have at your at your disposal, you have no idea what the pleasure of a gun might be. But law-abiding citizens should have guns. That's
But
you.
Sasquatch, do you think that like they should just be so readily available like they are in your country? Do you really think that anyone should have the right to own a fucking semi-automatic rifle that, to be honest, unless you're going to war or something, you just don't really
you're
need
wrong.
that kind of gun?
You're totally wrong. An automatic weapon is a weapon of war. It is illegal in this country. A semi-automatic weapon is no different than your grandfather's hunting rifle. I don't care how many pieces of furniture you put on it or what you dress it up to look like, whether it looks like an M4, an M16, or whatever you want it to look like, it's still one fire with one trigger pull. That is semi-automatic. Anything else is a debatable point.
Yeah, but bro, some of these, like, for if even these semi-automatics, man, they might as well be fully automatic. Some of them.
No,
Come
there's
on,
no,
and these big massive clips
or
that you
they are
can
not.
get and buy, man, like
They're not
there's
big,
just no
massive
need for it, right?
with the gun. It's not an extended magazine at 30 rounds. That's what comes with the firearm when you purchase it from the factory. That is what it is designed to take. That's not an extended magazine. An extended
You know
magazine.
what it is? There's no way, like, and I can
100 rounds.
see you're definitely pro guns, right?
Absolutely.
There's nothing I could say to you, is there? Completely nothing in this world I could say to you that would make you turn around and say, you know, we'd be willing to
You
not have.
had the experience of your own firearms legally and safely produced and kept and owned for years. We have multiple generations in my family of firearms that have never got up, went out and killed anybody.
Firearms are legal in the UK, mate. They are legal. They're legal, right? So again,
Right
under
on
the same, as long as they're stored in the right manner, as long as you, okay, you do have to hold a license, but as long as you do the things that you need to do, yeah, you're perfectly
you're
fine.
not permitted to establish a registry of owned guns or gun owners. Both of these bits of information are supposed to be.
But okay, so there's owning a gun, right, and owning one and having it in your, say, your property, right, which maybe, yeah, I agree, you should be able to defend yourself, so that's fine. But then, do you really think like places like Vegas and that, where you can just walk around with one on your hip, where you can just walk around with a gun on your hip or in your bag?
Perfectly legal. There's nothing wrong with it. Criminals do not open carry. You will never find a mass shooter out there with his gun strapped to his freaking hip 4 hours before the game show. You know, he's going to be hiding it and trying to get in without being noticed. Criminals do not open carry. They concealed carry. Now in Georgia, where I live, that's perfectly legal. I can put any pistol I wish in my pocket and go to the store, go to Walmart, because I'm a law-abiding citizen. I have no interest in harming anyone, and you will play hell getting that thing from me. You're not taking it. So why would I decide that somebody that lives 5,000 miles away on Capitol Hill can make a decision that you cannot see in my backyard? So we have bears, we have cougars, we have bobcats and lynx, we have snakes and all kinds of other stuff. This is just a common problem that exists. We could go eradicate them all. We choose not to. We only kill the problem animals. Do you have bears? Do you have big cats? Are there abundance of snakes biting people in the UK? No?
You know,
No.
there's not.
You really
No,
need to
there's
go, do you? You need to protect yourself from other people.
But hang on, but hang on. We're talking about animals now. The whole point of bearing arms is to bear arms to your government, right?
Is a
It's to
flighty,
bear arms against your
Hang on,
government.
one
So
at a
you
time.
it's if your
One at a-
government ever turn on you, you then have those arms to fight back against your government, right? That's the whole point in bearing arms.
No, that's another option. That is the reason it was enshrined into the Constitution, but that is not the reason it is still there. You could attempt to make the argument that it was written for muskets, that no one's ever been able to buy an AA or a mortar or a cannon. But that's not true. Joe Biden does not know what he's talking about. I have a cannon. We keep it out behind my pop shed. Our high school has
Can you take your guns into Walmart and shoot the wildlife?
no.
There's some extra ones there.
You can't shoot in public. Any attempt to fire a gun in public is verboten unless it's in direct self-defense or the protection of another person. It's actually a really narrow window.
You see, I've never had an issue with having guns legal, whether it's open carry or not. It makes no difference to me. I don't believe it's the gun that kills you. It's the person holding the gun.
Do you have a lot of knife crime in the UK?
Yeah, really bad.
Well,
really bad. It's like a fucking epidemic.
Which is reported,
right?
And made
A knife
serious.
epidemic. I would say. I'd say rather than a knife
But that's because we
epidemic.
don't.
I have mass stabbers. You need to outlaw the knives so that nobody can be stabbed.
Yeah,
People
that's
have-
where
people
it gets a little bit more difficult because knives is just
No, it's the
what you're
it's the
gonna
same
do.
argument.
Take a
You
knife
cannot
out the
argue.
cutlery and just
But you
Yeah.
can't make the argument that this tool is acceptable because it's used for other things, but this tool is not acceptable because it's used for other things. That's a straw man argument. It doesn't work.
They
It holds
changed
no
it.
water. Don't hold no truck with me.
The knife laws were changed a few years ago. Now you have to be over the age of 16, I think it is, or it could be 18 to buy a knife.
Nah,
But that's
18.
Any knife.
because criminals obey laws, right? See, that's the
criminals
issue I
are-
have. It's not the guns. It's not the knives. It's none of that. It has to do with the fact that lawmakers believe that people who break the law are going to obey the law. And that is retarded. That never happened. It never was a thing. And I'm not sure where the idea came from. Criminals, by definition, break the law. So passing a law does not affect or inhibit a criminal in the least. You know, they used to say that marijuana was a gateway drug. Do you know why
Some still
it
do.
was a gateway drug?
Is what, sorry?
Do you know why it was a gateway drug?
Not
It
really.
wasn't.
In order to purchase marijuana, you had to go deal with criminals who were also selling crack and cocaine and meth and LSD and all these other illegal drugs, heroin and illegal pills and fentanyl and all that stuff. But to get the pot, to get the plant that you wanted, you had to go deal with these criminals. And while you were there, you'd never know what else might have been slipped in your weed. Now we go to a shop, we purchase legal weed. And it's fine. It's not a gateway drug when you do it legally. Weird, huh?
Yeah. Black Watches confirmed something here. Carrying a life larger than 6 inches is illegal. Women say carrying a pole larger than 6 inches is illegal when fully erect, but that's not a knife.
Do you know where the
That's
term
another
rule of
story.
thumb comes from?
To do with the sight on a musket or something.
The rule of thumb? No, sir. It had to do with the fact
No.
that up until like 1878, 1898 in America, it was perfectly legal to beat your wife, provided you didn't use a stick bigger than your thumb. The rule of thumb. Now, is that an acceptable law in the books? No, never was. It was removed for that reason. It's unacceptable.
So now you can beat your wife with a stick that's bigger than your thumb.
No, it is no longer legal to beat your wife or your boyfriend under any circumstances. It never really was, except people did it anyway, and you can't lock up the judge.
Yeah, it's true. And the other way round, where the wife or the girlfriend beats up their partner. Seen that a few
I kinda
times.
did a little bit of rough stuff occasionally. Don't threaten me with a good time. I'm just saying, we need some consent forms for that stuff is all I'm saying.
Yeah. The falling. Your thumb's not that big.
My lovely lady thumbs. Okay. Look at your thumb. Yeah, no, you can't do much damage with that, can you? Maybe it should have been a rule of wrist. Yeah, I stole that from a movie.
Trouble is, she's forgotten which one.
It's
Saint
Boondock
Kilda.
Saint.
Well, don't know about you all, but I'm absolutely utterly shattered. Maybe I need to cut back on the pipe.
Dude, I'm so freaking broke. I haven't had weed in a week, and it'll be another week before I get any. I'm losing.
I managed to get a couple of vapes. I'm still on the first one.
But hey, imagine how high I'm gonna get when I finally get some. It's gonna be redonkulous.
Well, hang on.
Hiding in my bed.
Hang on. Does your weed fall into the same bracket as your YouTube and what you need to buy for the YouTube? Or is it totally separate? Because I remember a conversation you and I had, regarding the costs, etc.
Yeah, no,
So
I
for a second.
typically I smoke weed that is so expensive and rarefied that it makes you die broke, poor, and lonely. It's really exceptional.
Okay, Blackwatch, need to take a leak on the motorway. Go to the passenger side rear tire.
Hey, wait, no
It's still
peeing in the
legal.
wormhole. Aliens get pissed about that.
Actually, technically, it's not. Yeah, technically, it's not, because it's not an emergency to stop on the motorway for a leak. You can still get done for it.
I don't know about all that, man. I think we need to determine our own emergencies. I don't think somebody in a black robe and a wig ought to be able to sit behind a desk and tell me what is and is not an emergency. I think that's my decision.
Yeah, well, I would agree with you, but the law is the law. Hello,
Sure,
Cheryl.
sure.
Long time no speak.
Hello, Cheryl.
I've not been
Yeah,
around.
sure. The law is the law. I agree on that point. But at least here there is a bit of a debate on the exact execution of the law. So, for instance, let's say you're running 120 miles an hour through a 60 mile an hour zone, and blue lights flash behind you, and they pull you over, right? You don't stop. You keep going. And eventually they start going into that whole pit maneuver thing and start trying to call in other districts and stuff, and they come get you. Well, if you're involved in an emergency and you're going straight to an emergency room, you will be arrested. It's going to happen. Chances are, if you had, say, a pregnant woman or somebody who's having a heart attack or something like that, granted, speeding's probably not helping the situation. I'm simply saying extenuating circumstances can completely moot those charges. It's rare, but
I totally agree. However, here's something which came up in the mainstream news, funnily enough. There's a guy who looked in his rear mirror and he saw an ambulance flashing, the blues, had the horns going a lot. So he decided to make it easier, he'd pull out the way. So he did. He got a £195 fine for entering a bus lane. And he said, all I did was move out the way. What he didn't tell people was that he travelled half a mile down the bus lane before he got off.
He didn't stop.
Oh, he did stop, but then he just carried on because
Us. Okay, I got you.
another
Yeah, no,
what actually happened, and this is what his excuse was, right? The lights were red, they went green, another car went through behind the ambulance, and he didn't get the opportunity to go through, so he went through about just over a second later. And that's why he got them for it, because he travelled down the wrong way.
He went
And he
through
said,
the bus lane through an intersection, and the cameras got him.
Yeah.
Yeah, cameras have no judgment. They're just going to.
Nope.
I'll be right back.
And he said, all right. So anyway, he turned around and he said he wasn't going to get out of the way for ambulances. Well, technically, you shouldn't get out of the way of an ambulance or the fire brigade. You should, if possible, move to one side so that you're out of the way, but only if it's safe to do so. If you're in traffic, they will get round you. Don't panic, because you could be the next accident that they go to. If you think about it.
Sorry.
This is it's all right. I was just saying this is an interesting conversation to going on about Willies in the chat. Don't quite understand why. I think it was Cheryl who started it.
I'm sort of down with an awkward conversation. Can we talk about Jillies instead of Willies?
Why? Because they bounce. Yeah. Yeah, it's Cheryl's fault. She's the one that started talking about Willies first.
That makes sense. Seems that may have occurred before.
Yeah. She was asking someone how the Willie was. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah. Blackwatch, don't free Willie. But Niddy loves her Willie, he says. That's Blackwatch, guys. But you never know. That could be, because I didn't ask what the pronoun was. I can't believe I got told off for the wrong pronoun.
Oh, dude, I don't have to participate in other people's delusions unless you're willing to either present as what you wish to be called, or you come out front and tell me to begin with, which will result in me picking on you. You don't get to say anything, because I can't pull your gender out of the freaking airspace above your head. You're not walking around with a gamer tag floating over your head. So it's not like I can look at somebody with a 3-foot-long beard and say, hello, ma'am. That doesn't make any sense. Sorry.
I sent an email to someone whose name was Jerry, spelt Jerry, right, which is exactly the same as you would spell Jerry, as in a jerry can or something like that. Okay. Anyway, we were chatting away, going back to the email, I think it was, or Teams or something. And it didn't cross my mind that it was anybody other than, it could be male, could be female. I don't care. They were helping me out with something at the time. Anyway, I put a call through to them, and she said to me, "You're not surprised that I'm female?" I said, "It doesn't make a blind bit of difference. Can you sort this problem or not?" So, be careful. His, him, her, it, alien, whatever.
Shim, Herm, and I guess they works all around, don't it?
Yep. Well, I got asked what my pronoun was, and I said a purple banana. and they couldn't get it either.
Uh,
Back
pretty
to
sure I'm
the
a velociraptor.
haunted house. I have to leave tonight to go and house it again. Oh, right. Okay.
Cheryl, if that thing is haunted and you firmly believe it, you should at least static film some stuff. And if anything happens, you can upload it as a short or a bit or whatever.
You either believe in it or you
want
don't.
to, you can send it to me and I'll upload it and credit whoever you want me to credit with it. I don't really care.
Right. Okay. So Cheryl's actually replied, if any activity, I'll record it and try to get any
That's
evidence.
the problem, Cheryl. That's a problem. See, here's the thing. Just like with cops, it's hard to record once activity starts. When the time to be recording police officers is before they start their shenanigans. Because after they start shenanigans, they take all the phones and they take all your guns and they put everybody in these nice shiny bracelets.
Yeah, you said. Yeah. They measure them as well to make sure they're too tight.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to have handcuffs cut off me twice because the cops put them on too tight to be able to get them off.
I'll just leave it to record and walk away.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you do. That's exactly what you do. Congratulations. You are now a YouTuber.
Yep. And you go back a few hours later. I did that on Wednesday. I put a live out, and all I wanted to do was to chill. So I put some music on. I thought, oh, this would sound good on YouTube. So I put it onto this channel, told everybody that it was nothing but copyright-free music, totally open and honest about it. And I still got people listening to it for 3 hours.
Yeah, I went in there and was like watching the folks come in and leave because I was sitting here working. And I must have watched 15, 20 people wander in and wander back out. What's going on in here? Can't you read the title? I just thought it was funny. It was. I was probably laughing about as much as you were. That's
yeah.
gorgeous.
Well, I've just saw the figures, and it was 192 people went in and out. I thought that was hilarious. I thought, I wonder if I should do it again sometime.
You know what's funny? I was, however many view hours you got of that thing, I was probably half of them.
Yeah, I think you might have been the one that was there for 2.5 hours.
Some editing and stuff, and after you set it up, I needed something I had to go outside and do some stuff, and I needed something to keep my computer from going to sleep. And I was like, oh, Grim's live and he's not doing nothing. That'll be perfect. It'll just sit there and play. I'll be able to come back in an hour or two and deal with it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe I think I've got a bit of a reputation for having a chat show all the time, and I thought about putting some music on tonight, but I then thought to myself, I'm knackered. So why should I start working that out? I need to sort that out for another night. But do I put it on YouTube or do I put it on another server and do a live there? That way I can play music, you see, without the fear of being taken down for violating YouTube terms and conditions.
You know, YouTube's playing with a new ad blocker.
Say that again. An ad blocker.
An ad blocker. Google has built a new filter thing that keeps people that are using ad blocker from watching YouTube videos.
It doesn't work.
From what I understand, and I don't have any real information, this is all anecdotal. It works about 60%. So if it works on your phone or if it works on your computer, it's probably the end of that ad blocker for your computer. So you'll have to get a different one.
Yeah, but when it's built in to the framework, right? So you can so you don't get the adverts, then they'd have a problem because it's already built into Brave. It's part and parcel, and they keep updating it. So they've probably got an update on how to block the ad blocker.
Right. I give it a week tops, probably 48 hours if I had to guess. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a whole bunch of sites employ blocker recognition software, but previously Google had let that be a site by site basis, but apparently Google itself is attempting to do something about it like whole hog.
Yeah. I think that might cause an issue with other browsers because obviously they won't be able to get into certain domains. Hello, darling. How you doing? APB ad blocker is free.
Let me try it this way. This will be better. Hello, darling. It's nice to see you.
Well, I didn't realise that you cared. You've only been on here for about an hour.
No, sweet.
It's about time you treated me with respect.
You're my favorite bony man.
Huh? God, somebody take him away. He's been.
Hey, you want to hear my Wizard of Oz voice?
Oh, go on.
Wizard of Oz voice.
Pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
I thought you were going to be like one of the Munchkins.
Oh, I'm not a Munchkin. I'm
No,
Wizard of Oz.
It does that.
You want to hear my Professor Marvel voice? I see. Let's see. Oh, let me think up one of the lines.
They'll put them on the spot.
Well, no, I got a script. I don't memorize these things. That's amateur hour. Let's see. And believe it or not, it's like really, really hard. Just like the same problem I have with doing Alex Jones on the fly. I mean, I can pretty well just break out Alex Jones anytime I want to. It's not even that difficult. It doesn't hurt my voice anymore. I've gotten enough experience with it that I can just, hey, Lorenzo, get me some of those power bars and a couple of cups of coffee. Right?
The more I hear that voice, the more I think that it sounds more like Beetlejuice.
That's pretty good. You're not wrong. Actually, it's a mix. The way I got to Alex Jones, doing a Beetlejuice impression and then saying out loud that, well, doing Beetlejuice is kind of like doing the Hulkamania Hulkster impression, because all you got to do is add brother to the end of anything you say, and suddenly it's the Hulkamania brother. It's the same accent.
Okay.
Same voice.
Same sort of thing, yeah. Oh, brother is the only thing he says.
Yeah,
he doesn't say anything else, allegedly.
Put him up.
Grim, allegedly. Okay, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure what night this goes live or what time, but it's going to be on Snowy's platform. If Cheryl,
actually,
if you
it's
or
on Scully's.
Vicky, nice to see you, or Darlene, if it's on who? Scully's. Okay, can you put the link out then, please, so that
yes,
so that everybody can go there.
Yep.
And please go over, like it, hit the notification bell, make sure you get notified, and give it a watch.
It is Saturday. He does all kinds of stuff like this, man. Like we did Peter Pan about a month and a half ago. He did a Misery reading with one of the other voice actors in The Wizard of Oz. We're looking at doing Ender's Game, hopefully sometime around the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
That was by special request. Okay, so my Professor Marvel voice. Well. House guest, eh? Who might you be? No. Now don't tell me. Let me see. You're traveling in disguise. No, that's not right. You're going on a visit. No, I'm wrong. That's you're running away. And the farther I get into it, the more Kansas hayseed I can bring into it. Boo.
Yeah, how often be using a different accent? So you got biggish parts.
Yeah, I've
Or lots of
probably
little
got.
ones.
I got. Well, he does. Let's see. The Wizard of Oz. The guy who played the Wizard of Oz played Professor Marvel, the doorman, the cabbie, the escort, and the Wizard of Oz. And then at the end, he's Professor Marvel again when he's talking to her and fixing to fly off. And then at the very, very end, he's actually Professor Marvel. He leans in the window. It's like, oh, she looks like she's fine. And so,
yeah,
I've tried to start with Kansas hayseed in my voice to start with, and nobody liked it. They for some reason they said it was weird. They didn't dig it. They liked the way it would slowly develop as I'm going through the Wizard of Oz bits, and he gets discovered as a charlatan and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They also said I wasn't mean enough.
To sound like you're British, Blackwatch suggests just say, I'm off to the Lulu.
He's going to spend a penny.
Oh, yeah?
You're going to drop a dime.
That, with inflation, it'll... You know.
I know, but that's the old saying.
How expensive would it be to go and have a piss now?
I don't know. It's about 30 pence or something in a public toilet,
isn't it? Is it? Jesus Christ.
Those are charged, yeah. Some do. Like 30 pence. When I was down in Devon, there was a few that like cost like, I think it was like 30p to use the toilet.
Wouldn't cost me a penny.
Or
but there's something in old law, man, written that says that a man, and only a man, can pee in any free-flowing water. I swear to you, that's the thing. Check it out.
So how do you stop the dog?
She's just a bitch.
When the cow is peeing, isn't that free flowing water? So can you pee on a cow? I'm sorry. I apologize. I need pot.
Don't apologize, Sonny. Right. Okay. On that note, have any more toilet jokes?
It wasn't a joke. I mean.
Will you stop buzzing, Bear?
Buzzing?
Yeah, there's a buzzing sound coming out.
Buzzing,
oh, hang on. Hang on a second. It wasn't you.
Oh, look at that.
Sound like a bad shaver, dude.
I
mean, I'd replace that thing.
I can't hear nothing, man. No, you're on about. I can't hear nothing. No, you're on about.
I'm not playing ping pong with you two. Just because I'm in the middle.
No, you're in the middle because you're the best receptacle. Oh, don't threaten me with a good time. I'll show up for this
in the bloody middle. You got an ever-ending hole there to fill. Girl.
I'll force you to stare straight into my hole.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Thing.
Or
I
him.
wonder if you'll get how many lines you'll get wrong.
Actually, the only parts I really have problem with, even at the end when he's saying things like "comitatus universitatum," like that's not a problem. What I have an issue with is he has cut some of the songs down so that they're not so long, but he's not a musician. So it never crossed his mind that the words are put together a certain way so they can be sang. And so he goes from like a third of the way through one beat to halfway through the next one, and the stanzas don't line up and you cannot sing it. I told you, I was like, dude, I'll tell you what, like, let me just run through the first couple of bars of that song and we'll be done. Right. Just skip the rest of it because you can't do it this way. It won't work.
And did you prove it?
Well, no, I sat there and tried to do it over and over again and then challenged anyone else to do it and they screwed it up and then challenged someone else to do it and they screwed it up. And then he decided, okay, try it your way and we'll see what it sounds like. And he's like, oh yeah, we're doing that. Because I was able to spit that right out. Like, no problem.
There you go. Blackwatch. Fret not, Grim. Us chatters are stuck in the middle with you.
Stuck in the middle with you.
Can I just say, you don't have to be here. I'm sure there's other lives going on at this present moment in time, but if you choose to stay, thank you so much. And when you stop spinning around, you're going to make people feel dizzy.
I was bored.
Don't forget, folks, in this ride, keep your arms and legs inside the ride at all times. Otherwise, Snowy will come along and chop them off.
I just lick them.
You know, when somebody says something and you know it's the wrong time to laugh because you're going to end up spilling your drink or whatever. That was one of those moments. It was like, I can't laugh at that. Oh, sorry. Is it all Cheryl's fault? Okay.
Might be my fault. If it's not, check again. It might be next time.
I know for a fact it's not the British's fault this time.
Aren't we blaming Russia for everything right now?
No. I don't blame
Who's
anybody.
currently on
It's just the way it is.
Oh, Russia's just wrong, period. But they've got bears.
Hang on a second. I miss hearing people these days. I could have sworn you said something about Russia being on the top.
No, I asked if they were being blamed for everything currently. Who are we currently blaming? Not blaming Britain. America's default position is it's Britain's fault. But if that's not the case, I need an update. Who are we blaming?
It cannot be the British fault because we don't get involved. Allegedly.
Yeah. We're going to have to check your references on that one. But
however,
all your people.
However, we have been known to bow to our masters. What's it like to be called?
Chinese?
Chinese Russian.
Well, it's kind of funny to me how y'all did that whole opium war back like 120 years ago or so, and we've come full circle, and now they're just in just forcing fentanyl across borders everywhere.
Well, wherever, allegedly. Our problem is that we accept too many small boats. That's our problem.
Our problem is that state down below us that don't pay taxes, and that state above
want to kill us.
Taxes.
Who rattled it? The Bubbles cage.
No, I'm saying those people in little boats, they want to kill us.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's called infiltration.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you, man, you folks are on an island. That shouldn't even be a problem to lock up. It shouldn't even be an issue. You should be able to
Bro,
make a phone call to
they're
the
going
coast.
over on the baby.
Hey,
Baby.
We're not allowed under the Human Rights Convention Act or whatever it is to take any action on the boats. And I'm being honest, it's not true. The British do not put divers underneath going along slashing the underneath side of the boats.
I have no
They
idea.
get damaged naturally.
Might as well.
They get damaged naturally. It's roughed
How
up
about
at the English Channel.
I'll buy
Well,
that.
it can be. But when it's calm, it's really easy to get across, you know?
Well, it's been swam a few times, hasn't it? But nobody
I was
objected
just
to
to say,
that.
man, it can't be that bad. There's a few folks that have swum it.
Yeah.
I mean, a really dedicated refugee could make that swim.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It only takes about a day and a half.
You know what I advise you
swim
to do? As your lawyer, not your lawyer, I advise you to go down to where those little boats are coming in, grab one of them, grab the shovel out of the dude's hand and turn it around and push right back off and start rowing back. Just get out of
Again,
it. Still got a chance.
we're just not allowed to. Let's
Oh,
go. How
don't
are you
tell me that.
doing?
You can't tell me that it's perfectly okay for everybody and their brother to get in a tiny bathtub and row across to Britain, but you can't take that bathtub.
Actually, that's quite interesting because you're not a Brit, right? So, what would your opinion be? What do you think about it, Sasson? What do you think of people
I'm utterly
coming to
Go
this
ahead.
country illegally on these little boats that they've probably paid anywhere in the region of around about £1,500 to have even got on that boat in the first place?
Okay.
And also the fact that they would have to have travelled across the best part of Europe before even getting to us.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, we had a group of folks from Rwanda show up at the southern border. I have about the same opinion of your boat people as I have about these Rwandans. They passed through an awful lot of countries that were perfectly livable. No warfare, no problem, no reason to run like a refugee, but they didn't stop there. No, they went where they were told to go and they're doing the thing they were told to do.
Yeah.
That's my problem.
You know what? You have actually got a big problem in the south as well, haven't you? With exactly the same thing, really.
Exactly.
Just, they're not coming by boats. They
It's
don't.
not
In fact,
just in the
that's
South.
why it's worse. They don't even need to come by boat.
Canada has an open door policy for refugees. They don't even stop them at the border. They're like, hey, do you have an ID? They say no. They just let them across. If they have an ID, they take them back to Canada. I'm utterly flummoxed by this. Mexico? Oh, don't even get me started. That's that state that don't pay taxes, as far as I'm concerned.
Hang on a second. Trump was supposed to build a wall to stop the Mexicans from coming in. Right?
Trump's a politician.
But what did he
can't
do
trust anything
to
a
try and
politician
stop the
says.
Canadians from getting in?
Pray.
Oh, I know.
Because that border is like 1,800 miles long. It is long. It's like 7,000 miles long. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that was what he got in power on. One of the things he said. And
Sure.
then he realized he couldn't do it,
We're being invaded right now. We are being invaded right now.
I don't get this, right? Back in 1945, right, there was a call for boats, right, from the British government. And the idea was to go across the water to France and invade. They're just doing it the other way around.
It's slower.
Have I upset any Canadians?
I'm a
Sorry,
little
by the way.
different from most Americans, right? And most people here, as a matter of fact. America is the land of opportunity. It's the greatest country to ever grace the face of the earth. Agree or disagree, it's immaterial. The point is, these
Allegedly.
people seem to agree. I have no issue with your tired, you're hungry, you're huddled masses. I simply want them to sign their name on the way in and at least document where you came in, where you came from, what your name is, and how many freaking murders you committed.
That's it, innit? You know, that's it. Like, do you suffer with the same problem over there? That, like, if you're somebody that speaks out, if you're somebody that speaks out against this issue, yeah, you're the first thing that you'll have thrown back at you is that you're somehow a racist.
Racist. Right? You have to have an opinion
Every
first.
time, right? Every time.
They are foreigners entering our soil illegally and should be documented immediately. And instead of that taking place, they're being bused to San Antonio and then off to California and off to Texas and off to Louisiana.
Because this works the other way as well, Sasquatch. Yeah, like, so for instance, me or you now, yeah, I don't sit here and feel like I've got the right to land, for instance, in your country without going through the right process. I wouldn't do that, you know. And even if I was going to do that, right, I definitely wouldn't do that when I can't speak a word of your national, your language, your national language, like. It's
English.
National language. However,
okay, but you know what I mean. You mainly speak English, yeah. So what I'm trying to get at is,
hang on a second. There's a simple test. There's a simple test that could be used in the Third World War, right? When you go over to America, what they do is to get you to spell, and if you spell it correctly, you're not allowed in. You're a spy.
You know what I mean? Just like if I went to Spain, yeah, I'd expect to know a little bit of Spanish if I'm going to rock up there and expect to live in their country.
Oh, I totally can, but I'll be bringing
living on a mountain
to live there. Yeah, no, I'm not just going to show up with a carpet bag and be like, "Okay, I'm your problem now." That's not the way this works.
Yeah, man.
I'm going to show up. I'm going to purchase property. I'm going to move in. I'm going to pay taxes. I'm going to file. I'm going to do all that stuff perfectly legitimately because I don't want them to excommunicate my ass from this mortal coil.
Makes perfect sense.
These people, however, and I'm not saying that in the form of those people or you people or some people, I'm just saying there are these individuals who have decided for whatever reason to finance people coming to America. I'm sure that there's a monetary trail that leads back to somewhere in slavery.
Yeah, like,
cartels usually.
That's just the first step, baby. It's just the first step.
Oh, yeah. But that's where you'll find the money going back, but they won't trace it further back than that.
But in some cases, it has been. We have random people from Ghana showing up on the southern border who are coming in perfectly legitimately, but they used the same smuggler's route to come in that all the others have been using, except when they got here, they walked up to a deportation location and was like, "Hey, we're from Ghana. We're refugees. We would like to stay." Do you know what happened? They signed their names to a piece of paper, put them on a bus, and put them in the hotel right next to the other immigrants. Whereas the people who just swam across the Rio Grande, ducking and dodging pygmy rattlesnakes and trying not to get eaten by vultures or raped by freaking coyotes or whatever, they're put on the same bus, sent to the same hotel, and I can't find any proof of documentation of these individuals taking place inside any form of legal system. All documentation seems to be extraneous.
I think that is part of the problem because, I mean, I'm on both sides of the Atlantic, and I think that's what majority of people would probably understand. They come in, there's no proof of ID, so they can give you whatever name they want. If you document it, you document it. But then they change the name when they've gone somewhere else anyway.
Right.
So what's the point in documenting them? You know,
so here's my complaint with the Ghana people. They came in perfectly legally with all of the information you would need to find and prosecute the individuals responsible for this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Nobody questioned them. They were put on a bus, sent to Connecticut or wherever it was they were sent. They were given a hotel room there for a few months. Homecuz got him a job. He's now got an apartment, and his whole family's living in the apartment. And they're rebuilding the local playground because it's trash over there. Right? These are good, wholesome, family unit people. You know,
Mm.
these are people. They're not cartels. They're not none
Yeah.
of those. When you talk about the people that are coming across, illegally, there's no filter, none. Murderers, cartels send hit squads to America regularly.
And that's how they come in, potentially. I mean, Bear's got a point regarding the number of immigrants that are coming in and the age of the immigrants. They're all, majority of them,
They're fighting age men.
appear to be somewhere between 20 and 30. The fighting age, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw men. You don't see many women coming over or kids.
Well, the women don't make it. They either opt out somewhere on the process because of how overwhelmingly masculine this whole process is, right? And plus, the countries aren't trying to get rid of their women. They are wanting to get rid of their fighting age men, because do you know what happens to a country? Hold on, let me put myself on screen so people can see me say this, because this is one of those freaking verifiable things. You can go back in history and check on the statistics. At 20% unemployment in the fighting age man population, virtually any nation in history that kept that for more than 6 months had a revolution. In almost every case. When America was doing the whole repatriation bullshit back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, when they were going down doing the banana wars and all that, we didn't go in there and change the freaking government. We didn't have to. What we did was we went in with enough money to sway the businesses to alter their hiring practices and crash the local currency. Very much like what seems to be taking place worldwide now. And then we would supply a alternate currency that was backed by the American dollar. Only the businesses that utilized it and abided by our hiring practices would be able to flourish in the new economy. And all the other businesses were put out of business. Poof, suddenly you have a 25, 30, 40% unemployment. And then they would maintain that for 3 months. After 3 months, revolution happened any day now. Takes nothing. Somebody will imagine some crap.
Well, strange how you know what's happening over in the States on the 1st of July. Digital currency becomes legal.
It sounds awful familiar. I've seen this play before. I've read this book once before, and it didn't work out for the country under siege. Never.
Well, apparently through the back door, that forgetful brain of his, the president. You've got.
We don't have a president. We have a vice president.
Because I can't see it being hung over from the days of Trump. But apparently, yeah, the date that it's due to come into effect, where the government can set up a digital currency, is July the 1st. And bullshit, 3 days later, you celebrate your independence. But I mean, I don't know how true this is. It's only what I've been told by another American. But it might be worthwhile you having a look-see to see whether or not you can find anything on it.
You want me to bring it up now?
Like, if you can see anything, I don't.
I see it.
Because then at least I can go back and say whether it's true or it's false.
All right, I'll be right back.
No worries. We'll still be here for another 5 minutes or so. Because we are approaching the magic hour of 2 hours.
The magic
sound right. The magic hour of 2 hours. That's what I actually said. I'm still easing my way back in there. You know, I'm trying very, very hard to hold things together. Never mind hold a life together. But you know what? That's life. And it's only my problem. It's nobody else's. So, Be interesting to see whether or not this is true, this rumor that I've heard. I mean, it could just be something which is going round, like the Chinese whispers and the change of services that were coming in on April Fool's Day last year. I remember that. That was amusing. But they did bring some things in since. But can you imagine if a government does to actually agree and turn around and say digital currency is legal? From my perspective, I don't think much will change because I'll still pay for things with invisible money because I don't actually see the money that I'm spending out when I buy things.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I seen something the other day. Now, you know, on a banknote, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you noticed what it says on a banknote?
It says
What does it say on a banknote?
God we
It says
trust.
No, it actually says the Bank of England promised the bearer of this note, whatever the value is.
Promise to pay the bearer.
Yeah, it's a promise to pay.
So it's only a promise to pay. So what's the point in that money? It's not worth anything. It's only a promise to pay.
Yep. And it's the Bank of England that promises to pay.
But I got nothing over here that I can find on a July 1st.
Well, in that case, then it must be a ruse.
But yeah, I find that very strange. I was watching it. I was like, I never really thought of this.
Yeah,
that's strange. Why on a banknote it says promise to pay rather than
it's a
you are
promissory.
paying.
Yeah.
It is a fiat currency, no longer based in a physical deposit.
But it's been like that for donkey's years. I mean, I've never known anything different. And before somebody says, you remember white £5 notes? No, I don't. But as far as I know, even on the £1 million note, it says exactly the same, that they promised to pay the bearer. I don't know what it says on the notes over in the States.
Yeah, I don't either. I can't find any right now. I'm so fucking broke. It's retarded. I might have a dollar bill. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I got one. Cool. Let's see.
Yes. Hey, you're rich.
Not anymore.
He's $1 up.
I'm at least $1 up. That is true. Yep, says in God we trust. Oh, hold on.
Yep. Does it say anything else?
Hold up. Gotta get some light on this thing. This note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. Yeah, no, that's it as far as caveats, man.
Right, so that would be a legal note then.
It is legal tender, whereas you utilize promissory notes.
Yes, which is what the Bank of England is based on.
Right. And so we basically have the same thing here. That is technically legal tender, but it is not backed by silver nor gold. It is backed by petrobucks, which are wishy-washy at best.
But as I was thinking, if this rumor was true, which it's not looking like, but if it was, right, if a country decided to abolish its own currency to bring in digital currency, because I know that it was trialed in the Bahamas, and 0.01% of people actually took up the digital currency. The idea of it is so that it's basically a virtual bank. You don't see any money, you don't touch any money, you can't feel it, you can't waft it the way you used to be able to and listen to the crisp notes as they go by. That's all gone. That happened during the months or the 2 years that we had C-19. That plastic bomb that went off.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Never heard of it, and didn't lick doorknobs through the whole thing. That wasn't
That's
me.
Fine. Well, what we ended up having is ability to pay for more on your debit or credit card electronically, in other words, cashless. So you use a chip. And then when they found that they needed to, they increased it to £100. Now people are frightened
And
of
nearly
losing.
every supermarket you now go in has probably been refurbed in that time, and there's more self-checkouts than like actually human interaction.
I never ever use self-checkout. I figure those people need a job, so I go to the line, and if there's not one available, I go to a manager and make them open one. Because I'm a customer. Walmart is not paying me to be a cashier. So they do not get to tell me to be a cashier, or I will shop elsewhere.
I like that.
Well,
I like that.
Asda used to be part of Walmart. It's not anymore. But I went to an Asda. I've not been to a supermarket for a long time, but I went to an Asda the other day, and I was surprised that there was none of the old checkouts. It was all do-it-yourself scan.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I asked the reason why, and I was told that they can put more units in, which means more people can check out quicker than they can with somebody scanning it. And my response was, well, you've just done how many cashiers out of a job? And he said, oh, no, they've been redeployed. I said, exactly. So you've redeployed these staff to save taking on staff. And you may have even had staff who couldn't do anything else, because that's why they wanted the job as a cashier, because they could sit on their bum all day long.
Check this out. This has a spiraling out of control feeling inside my brain when I think of it. If you take every business and put in a self-checkout feature, and every other business can be done online, then what's going to be the purpose of showing up in person to vote? It will be the only thing left that you have to go physically do, right? And
potentially, yeah.
The modern young children of today will look at that anachronistic system and go, God, it's so in the Stone Age. Why would anybody actually go to a place to cast a vote?
You put your as we know, allegedly, the last election you had, even the zombies were voting. They were walking in.
Do you know the problem I think we have in this country, right, is when it comes to like getting young people to vote, there's not enough. Like, look at the Houses of Parliament, man. Most of them in there look like coffin dodgers, don't they? They look like they're about to fucking drop dead anytime soon, you know. So yeah, the coffin dodgers, man. They are, honestly. Most of them in Parliament here are all coffin dodgers.
No,
and it's these people that are making all the decisions on the young people's futures. Like, these guys have got like a couple of years left. That is their future. But here they are making all the decisions on the younger generation.
So why not sell us all out right down the river for the biggest profit you could possibly imagine? Go take a look at Nancy Pelosi's stock portfolio over the past 30 years.
This is one of the reasons why
I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying, look, open your eyes and look.
Yeah, this
I'm
is
sure y'all have
Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, but whoever you vote for, the government still gets in. All you're doing is just choosing which colour, be it red, yellow, blue, purple, white, or whatever. That's all you're doing. It's the only other option. You have some sort of say in the way the country
on the right or on the left. But the only other option that's available to the common citizen is to just go fishing.
There's an idea. I like that. I like that idea.
Just opt out. Don't participate. Leave. Make them have to shake you physically. Hey, you know you got to have a digital bank account, right? Fish don't care, dude. They're gonna have to convince me to do something
Yep.
that the fish care. Zzz,
I saw a clip on one of the Karen's video type things. Yeah,
Get
there's
the
this
boat and
woman
say-
who was over in the
That's
UK, right? Who was whinging at a fisherman who caught a beautiful fish. Right, it had to be about 3 foot long at least, if not more. And she was saying how he should put it back. And he was explaining, but this is a fishery. It's open to the public. And the woman just couldn't get it. She said, I don't care. I just thought it was amusing.
We went rabbit hunting. And in Georgia, we have sort of a boom and bust process with rabbits. And some years you don't need a license to hunt. And other years you have to go get a hunting license and whatnot. This was one of those no license years. It's not that there's no license. It's just you go to apply for a license, and usually they would give you a number of tags. You can get this many bunnies, have a good time, right? And some years there are so many that they don't give you tags. They just tell you to have a good time. There's no limit. You'll get 1,000, 10,000 if you can find them, right? And
basically, it's a way of calling the wildlife, and
it is exactly that. It is killing the dumb ones. Yes, sir. Keeps the numbers in check. Same thing with deer, but with bunnies.
Hang on a second. Did they let the politicians out as well? You said killing the dummies, the dumb ones.
Well, the dumb rabbits.
Yeah, politicians. All right, okay.
So,
yeah, well, if you're killing them all, that does help. It's like
we had just got done on this 3,000 acre plot of land that me and about 70 other people had been out hunting on that day. And when we got back to the lodge, we put all of everything together in a pile. Everybody noted how many they had killed, and then we took them all to be processed. And you're talking 70, 80 people killing their absolute freaking limit for time, not for limit, you know. Yeah. Some people got 150 rabbits that day. Other people got 12. Some people didn't get any, but it ended up being somewhere in the neighborhood of like 1,800 dead bunnies on the back of a truck. And we had to stop and get gas. Okay, poor little bunnies. I get it. They'll all starve to death if you don't do it. So,
I said poor Bugsy.
So we're taking them in to get them processed. We stop to get gas, and I walk in and pay for the gas, and I'm walking out, and there are these 3 20-something white, rich, basic big package wearing mother Starbucks swilling soy girls squealing and screaming and calling the cops because we had a whole truckload of rabbits. And I went out, filled up, and they screamed, and I never looked at them. All I did was like nod and go back to what I was doing. And they freaked out for the solid 15 minutes, screaming about cops and how we're going to jail and you can't do that. And the cops showed up, walked over, looked, and said, "Man, that is one hell of a hunt. How'd y'all do that?" It was like, "Well, we work for so-and-so over here, and they've got about 1,800 acres, and so-and-so has another 1,800. We put them all together on a single hunt, and we get a couple of hundred people together to go out and call the bunnies." That's a great idea, dude. Here's my card. Call me up if you ever need somebody to help out with it. Them chicks lost their shit. They freaked out. They heard that whole conversation and him request to be a part of the next one. And was like, that can't be right. They wanted to call the GBI and call the FBI and talk about corruption and stuff. And I was like, no, ma'am. Right now, there are about 36 million rabbits in Middle Georgia. That is about 18 million more than there should be. There are now 1,800 less than there were this morning.
It's a bit like the American export to the UK that has almost wiped out the red squirrel population over here, and that's your sodding grey squirrels.
Yeah, Sorry about that.
They
buddy.
came across here and took. I think that was the last invasion we had.
Oh no! After
Yeah, I know,
that
it
came
wasn't your fault.
BLM, and then there was wokeism, and then y'all had that Merkel bitch. Not Merkel. What's the Harry's fucking wife? That cunt. What's her name? She's a terrible person. She's personally a bad person.
Okay.
I mean, go check out her Twitter feed. It's horrible. It's just hate all the time.
Well, hang on a second. You gave us Jerry Springer. Then you gave us Oprah. Then you,
Oprah.
Oprah, that's it. Sorry. Then
Okay.
you gave us. I was right. I was thinking. Then you gave us the Oprah theatre where we got, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton, and
that's the Grand Ole Opry. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I don't even know where that is. I just know it's in America.
It used to be in Kentucky, I do believe, or Tennessee.
Right. Okay. If anybody knows, I'm just curious. That's all. I just can't be bothered googling it. Well, Snowy, it looks as though we've.
Okay, yeah, no, I wasn't wrong.
PBA.
All right. She's a terrible person. I don't like her.
Oh, Meghan Markle. Oh, hers, yeah.
Yeah, no, her.
She's of Canadian. She's from Canadian descent.
Sure. Okay. Whatever.
Sure,
Everybody's from some descent around here. This is nothing unusual.
But
that whole philosophy.
Talking of Meghan, apart from the one TV series she was in, her husband Harry is coming over in June to give evidence in a phone tapping court case. Right now, that I don't have an issue with, and he'd be the first member of the royal family to give evidence in court in person for something like 200 years. Okay, not a problem. What is a problem for him is he submitted a different version of what he originally wrote, and is now saying that he may have been aware but couldn't do anything or say anything about the wiretapping and the Mirror Group because of a secret deal. And that's the reason why.
All right.
Trouble is, he's screwed now either way, because he's changed his original statement. And if it's allowed in, it's going to damage him. And if it's allowed out because it's come out in the public, it's going to damage his case anyway. I mean, how thick are the royals?
Well, they were inbred for like 300 years. 700?
Allegedly.
Don't you got that Habsburg dog going on? Anyway, no, Harry disappoints me. I'm really disappointed in Harry. My mother was a huge Royals follower. She thought that it was the coolest thing on God's green earth that there were still actual Royals running around in the universe and stuff, and that was a groovy thing. And she liked to watch all the pomp and circumstance and all that stuff, right? It was like a comic book tour or a soap opera, right? She cried when Lady Di died, like the whole nine. So I'm not abreast of the cultural situation there, but I'm at least aware that there is a situation there.
Mm-hmm.
So Harry grew up this whole time. He's what, like, I don't know, 10 years younger than me, maybe. And I always thought that he was sort of an absolute Chad dude bra, right? He was always out there on the pitch. He was running around doing all the soccer stuff. He actually went to various combat zones, talked with people, did the whole handshaking thing in the actual places. It wasn't done, ad hoc. It was actually legitimately went and did these things. Okay. That's fairly Chad move. I mean, you don't have to do that stuff, but here he is doing it. That's based.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes across this chick, and his whole freaking personality, it's like it's a different person. It's like he went somewhere and they sent him back with this saprophyte sucking on the back of his head.
Well,
And every time
there
she
was a
starts to have an
rumor.
opinion,
Yeah, there was a rumor he was replaced
I would, dude,
by
I've kind of
something
looked
even
around
dumber.
at that idea, but I have yet to find a solid conspiracy theory that connects dots well enough for me to go, But honestly, what was it
Well,
about
they did it with
2007, 2008? He was an absolute Chad dude, brah. He turns around and goes, I have a girlfriend, and starts wearing pink salmon colored clothing. It's like, what in the hell just happened, dude? Did they construct this thing out of dead GIs and spare parts? I don't understand. They just got old SAS soldiers together and was like cobbled them together. Was like, here you go. All right, so we need you to go out and be a total pussy.
Okay, so I
Yes,
will say
sir.
there is one good thing about Harry and Meghan. She's no longer in a TV series because she couldn't act to save her life.
What TV series was she in, and why?
Suits originally.
Okay.
Why? It paid the bills after she got divorced.
Okay, no, look, I'm an American. I'm as capitalistic as they come. I believe it is your personal responsibility to sell out. Just don't do it cheap.
Yeah, that's it. And I will never sell out, full stop.
No, you can sell out by the hour, or you can sell out by the talent, or you can sell out by the skill, but you will sell out. Even you communist bastards out there have to trade your time for wages. Sell out.
Yeah, but I don't live to work, I work to live.
Hey, baby.
And unless
I
you
do
got
my thing.
unless
That's
you've
the way I
got a
do.
trust fund behind you or something,
Well, there's a few
you've
other
got to work.
possibilities.
You know, but
Something like that, yeah. You got to have some kind of backing to pull off a leisure life. Yes.
Exactly. I'm not going to say where or how that money is gotten. Maybe it's because you like pink.
Oh, it's all
salmon.
nefarious. All money is evil.
Yeah. Apparently, this is a blue salmon going to the fallen.
No,
Okay.
there is
Well, on that
salmon
note,
and pink or red salmon. They're the same salmon, just at different stages of their life. If you go and get red salmon, they have a really heavy layer of fatty oils all through the meat and stuff. It has a slightly different flavor, or much more gamey, robust.
It's younger.
But
usually.
you can go get like young salmon, and it'll have a clean, fishy salmon taste. But you don't generally get to eat young salmon unless you live near a salmon run.
Yeah. Yep.
So you are probably most familiar with like pink salmon and whatnot, but there are places that can smaller salmon, like littler ones.
Was it a Mosaic initiation whereby he changed? Cheeky.
Something between the point in time they stuck the noose around his neck and splashed the water on the back of his head and then pushed him face forward into the coffin and closed it. They flipped the coffin, and the guy who got out was a totally different dude, and they took Harry out back and shot him behind the chemical sheds.
Yep, allegedly. And on that note,
allegedly, yes, something.
I'm going to end it because I don't want to I don't want to upset any loyal royalists. Honestly, in fact, I didn't do a Friday night show last week because of the coronation chicken that was happening on this Saturday. So, and I wanted the for when he was crowned for him to fall over, but he didn't do it apparently. So, anyway, folks.
Last bit. Hold on. I have an
last
original
bit from Snowy.
I found in my wife's grandmother's possession an original teacup from Elizabeth II's coronation.
My God.
Right? I sat stared at it for 10 minutes like, wow. All right, I'm done. I'm gonna step backstage.
What the fuck? All right then, Snowy. Thanks for coming up. Thanks to Bear as well for coming up. And of course, everybody who's come in and opened up and had a good old chat with everybody else in the chat. I'm trying to get you involved as always. I'm getting a little bit getting back into the step of things. So I'll see you hopefully next Friday. If there's a live that goes up, I don't know what it's going to be, but if I do one during the week, the chances are it won't be me doing the live. It'll be an automated thing again. But in the meantime, guys, thanks so much, and I'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody, and look after each other.